Ba-ba-ba-da-da-da. This is going to blooper reel. What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Ooh That's Fresh with me, the Kid James. Thank you for joining me. If you're new to the channel, thank you for being here. I'm glad to have you. Do me a favor and please follow, like, subscribe, and make sure you follow the show, otc.show on Instagram or Off the Cut on YouTube. You can follow it through the bio. Make sure you give me a follow, subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. But since we're here, let's talk about a new pickup that I just picked up a couple days ago that I'm excited to talk about. I feel like a lot of people have trouble with this shoe. Yeah, let's get into it. That shoe is Air Jordan 1 AJKO. What do you guys think of this shoe? Let's talk about the details. It's a canvas upper, the white upper, the canvas red. It's got the long swoosh. It's missing the air. It just says Nike on the tongue. It's got the groove or the indentation here, or the slope. I've heard a lot of theories about where this name comes from, the KO. Obviously, we know the AJ stands for Air Jordan, but the KO means what? Theories, right? So let's get to the bottom of it. A lot of people have assumed that the KO stands for knockout and has some inspiration with boxing. Well, what we do know is that in the mid 80s, Nike wasn't the powerhouse that we all know now. All their shoes didn't sell out. And that goes for the Air Jordan 1. That shoe sat on the shelf, and that was a big problem for Nike. They had overextended themselves with this shoe after throwing the bank at Michael Jordan, assuming that the shoe would fly off the shelf. Well, it didn't. For a young company like Nike that had so much money invested into it, that was a problem, because with that, if the shoe sits on the shelf, there's no profits coming in. If there's no profits coming in, they can't pay for the molds. So in order to make up that money, they were left with very few options, including one, taking the shoe off the shelf, which would have made the shoe a failure, or find a way to make it cheaper. Now, we know that the Air Jordan 1 was made out of leather and top-notch quality of the time, so they needed to find a way to do that cheaper. How do they do that? Insert the canvas material, which was a lot cheaper, obviously, than the leather. Now, the other thing was to repurpose the sole. The sole that we see on the AJKO, as we've seen it before with the slope here, was obviously not a part of the Air Jordan line. This sole belonged to the Nike Vandal, so they repurposed it. So they were able to make money off of one sole for two shoes, right? So the shoe was significantly cheaper because of the different type of materials, and they weren't making a brand new sole for the shoe. Insert the name, the KO. Now, a lot of people like to assume that the KO stands for some boxing related knockout name. That's not the case. Inner memos with Nike states that the nickname for the shoe was the knockoff. They found a way to knock off their own shoe to make it cheaper. It wasn't the Air Jordan 1, it was the knockoff Air Jordan 1. And the nickname stuck, and they went with that for the name of the shoe because Nike knocked off their own shoe, essentially. Now, is that real? Who knows? It's Nike lore at this point. I seem to like that story, so I'm gonna stick with that. The AJKO stands for knockoff, where Nike knocked off their own shoe and found a way to repurpose old soles and a much cheaper canvas upper and release the shoe for a lot cheaper, and was able to make money without losing any of the hype or excitement of their first release with Michael Jordan's Air Jordan 1. Obviously, these released side by side with the Air Jordan 1, and eventually all of them flew off the shelf. Now the original shoe goes for a gazillion dollars, like every other Air Jordan 1 from that era. So Nike has decided to re-release it. Now, we have seen this shoe release a bunch of different times. I think 2012, they released a version with the regular Jordan sole. Well, this one comes back probably as closest to the original as we have seen in a long time. It has a better toe box than the last. Before, it kind of came out a little bit further. Out here, it's a little bit better. The canvas is exactly that, canvas. The slope is here from the Air Vandal. So it also has Nike on the tab and not Nike Air. I don't know what the deal with that is, but that's what it is. And the shoe is what it is. Personally, I am not the biggest fan of the Air Jordan KOs. I have no real issue with them. I just prefer to have the flat sole, and I rather have the leather upper. Canvas seems to get really dirty for me. I have a couple SBs that are canvas that it's hard for me to keep clean. And I just, I have Chicago, so I don't think I'll wear this shoe very often. So I'm going to probably let this one go. What are your thoughts on the shoe? Are you feeling it? I like the shoe, don't get me wrong. I think it has a rich history and I think it's kind of cool. But when it comes to wearability for me, I just probably won't ever get to it. I have the Royal AJKOs and they just sit back there. I don't really wear them. So I know that that's what happened with this and I would just be wasting my money. And as my friend TJ says, don't waste my money on shit that I don't need, which I really should just, that's how it is. Especially since this shoe costs $140. Now that is less than the $170 that you would get on a traditional Air Jordan 1, but you're also getting the knockoff version. So to each their own. I'm not dissing if you do like the shoe. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Are you guys gonna cop this shoe? Is this a shoe that you're gonna go after? Do you believe it'll sell out? I think it's gonna sell out quick on the sneakers app anyway, just because it is an AJ1 and it does have a rich history and it does come with the original everything. So we'll see. Unfortunately, that's the last time you will probably see it with me. I'm going to ship it off. Let me know what you guys think of the shoe. Leave me a comment. I want to talk about these things. I'm really curious to see what you guys are thinking. And like always, thanks for joining me, guys. I really appreciate it. I enjoy doing these. So please leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think of everything. Like and subscribe and share it out to your friends so you can help me grow this thing. Until next time.